What do you genuinely not understand? How so many ducking terrible commercials make it to TV? When I see a dumb commercial, my thought is always the same: a group of grown-ass people sat around a table somewhere and discussed how they want to promote their brand. They came up with an entire marketing strategy, probably had a vote about it, and sent approval on to the marketing department company for production. That marketing department created, scripted, filmed, and produced that piece of shit commercial. Then they sent it back to the group of grown-ass people, who sat around the same table watching the shitty commercial before agreeing that it's sending the exact message they want about their brand. They likely then vote again to approve running it on TV. A huge budget is approved for putting that dumbass commercial out there, and the result is the piece of crap I just saw on TV. Yeah, I don't understand that. Why I hate going to sleep and also hate waking up. Edit: I know people hate edits, but I didn't think this would murder my inbox, and I don't have time to reply to every single person. So, I'm not depressed. I used to be, for several years. But a few years ago I got better. Didn't just happen overnight obviously, but I'm not going to go into detail about it here. I'm much happier now and enjoy life a lot more, but I still hate my sleep schedule. I keep trying to get it somewhat normal, but it keeps getting ducked up. Maybe anxiety is a part of it, but I doubt that is the sole reason. I don't hate change, for the most part. It depends on the change, but I don't think that applies here. I'm not a toddler, kinda wish I was though sometimes. I've tried using melatonin and other sleep aids, sometimes it works but not always. Doesn't matter how early I go to bed, I will lay in bed for 6 hours and not be able to go to sleep until 7 in the morning. I've had this problem for almost a couple decades now and in multiple settings: when I was in high school, when I had a full-time job, and now that I'm going back to school and have a part-time job. I just think it's very nuanced and there are multiple factors that contribute to it. I'd like to have a sleep study done, but it's so difficult to find the time to do so right now. How perfect strangers make small talk, and how they know when to end the conversation without it dragging on awkwardly. People who take personal offense when your taste in music, movies, food, whatever differs from theirs. I went to college with a guy who listened to exclusively classic rock. Great genre, totally get it. Except he would get legitimately angry when someone put on rap in the car or wanted to sing pop at karaoke. Refused to work with a friend of mine in a group project because she loved techno, said her opinions would never matter because obviously something was wrong with her. Why can't you just let people enjoy the shit they like? It's a form of elitism that makes themselves feel better and more cultured or intelligent than the people around them. It's dumb. I mean, look at the other comments on this post about people liking celebrities. It's the same shit. An extremely elitist friend of mine in high school got me into metal. Told me what genres and subgenres were good. Being a young dude, in high school with limited friends, I quickly picked up on being an elitist twat. Listening to my superior music at full volume, playing it out loud on the bus, etc., and then I listened to one of the genres he said not to. And I really liked it. I didn't say anything, but I listened to it more and more. Eventually I saw a Reddit post and a guy was calling out an elitist metalhead, and saying you like what you like. Music is great, it's so varied and so wonderful. It doesn't matter if you like some obscure black metal in One Direction, still relevant at the time, all that matters is that you listen to what you enjoy. And that got me to stop being an elitist asshole. I now have musical taste ranging from everything from old country, to rap, to hardstyle, to death metal. And it's great. There's so much out there, stop shitting on others for 2 seconds and find something new to enjoy. Sometimes when I'm just sitting there, I become hyper-aware of my senses and then the whole concept of existence just confuses the duck out of me. Edit: look mom, no hands. Or when you're brushing your teeth or washing your face and you stare at yourself in the mirror too long and you're just like, whoa, this is me. But I'm actually me and I see me. And you go into a mini existential crisis about you being you and then you forget it happened. It's like when you're reading a word over and over and it starts losing all meaning. Except that instead of a word, it's you. I want to frame this quote. How language developed? Obviously it did, but I just can't fathom how. I just picture cavemen men walking and pointing to things and grunting. Sorry for the edit, but my typo was driving me crazy. That's basically it. They made sounds to refer to stuff and people caught on and used the same sounds and understood through context and repetition what each other meant, and it built and spread from there. I imagine early communication started with things like, hey relax, I'm not gonna kill you, come here, look, food, tasty, animal, danger. All things that are kind of obvious what is intended to convey in context and with pointing at the thing as you make a sound. Nothing. Like the whole concept of nothing boggles my mind. What was here before our universe? Nothing. What's in between the atoms of our bodies? Nothing. What's for dinner? Nothing. I just don't get it. That all vibe you get when you go to an empty parking lot or an IKEA. For those curious as to what I mean, check these subs out: With a Night Feeling, Dead Malls, and True Backrooms. Liminal Spaces TheludLowGroup.com. That picture of a hotel hallway is such a relatable example. Sometimes I want to run like demons are chasing me on the way back from the ice machine even though nothing's wrong. All I can think of is The Shining. How people believe 5 grams causes coronavirus. Saw some lady on our local news station's Facebook page going off about that. 5 grams is 10,000 times the power of 4 grams. Coronavirus has already caused testicle problems in men akin to high doses of radiation. I'm not going to reveal my sources. I did my research. Do your own. I'm not going to reveal my sources. I did my research. Do your own. Hashtag X200B, yes, the standard approach of every scientist. It's the scientific method. The process of thought, how we can make so many decisions in a split second. Internal dialogue is crazy. Does everyone have the same sort of inner thoughts? Do animals have internal dialogue? When I think about it, it blows my mind. Oh man, I had a ducking existential crisis recently, when I started thinking about how my thoughts just popped into my head and I actually have no control of what I think. Like I don't decide to think something, I just do. How the fuck do brains even work? Do I even have free will? Am I just a biological machine running calculations based on previous experience? Not to get too crazy, but man, this shit weirds me out whenever I think of it. I actually have no control of what I think. Intrusive thoughts are this concept on steroids. Imagine having no control of your thoughts, and your brain assaults you with all of the worst things possible at all, or random times. Guys that hit each other in the nuts for fun. WTF is with that? I watched an interview with Steve-O and he says fans want him to kick them in the nuts and are so happy and thank him when he does. I think it's more the hitting that's supposed to be fun, not the being hit. Obviously it's a bit different with asking Steve-O cause Hess famous from Jackass, the person wants a cool story, Steve-O kicked me in the balls. An important note, when hitting your mates in the balls, you're supposed to do it lightly, it's about the reaction, not trying to cause them permanent damage. Of course that might happen accidentally anyway, but people doing it don't generally realize that. My niece hit me in the nuts and I've never wanted to throw an 11-year-old from an 8th floor balcony more in my life. How computers work. I'm a reasonably tech-savvy person, but I genuinely have no idea about the inner workings of the tools I use for 12 hours every day. It's like I'm like a professional driver who has no idea how an engine or a turbocharger or brakes work. Edit, for those interested in reading more about the magic boxes and don't want to delve deeper into the comments, here were the most frequent suggestions. 1. Watch the Crash Course Computer Science on YouTube. 2. Read the book Code, The Hidden Language of Computer Hardware and Software. 3. Nangame.com. 4. Some dude named Ben Eater who builds magic boxes from scratch. Personal site, e-channel. I will probably only do number 3 cause I have the attention span of an ADHD-riddled goldfish. And because I'm not that interested in computers, I was mainly karma whoring. Thanks for the comments and the effort though, I'm sure many will find them really interesting. How the global economy runs. I'm a physics teacher and am embarrassed to say that despite reading several explanations, I still don't understand how batteries work. Specifically, if one end of the battery basically houses excess electrons and the positive side has a dearth of electrons, why doesn't connecting 2 batteries but not in a closed circuit cause half of each battery to drain? I'm not a battery expert, but I'll take a stab. It's not true that one terminal of a battery has excess electrons, while the other terminal has a deficit of electrons. They are both charge neutral. Batteries have an anode and a cathode separated by an electrolyte. As the battery is discharged to power something, not only do electrons flow from the anode to the cathode through an external circuit, positively charged ions flow from the anode to the cathode through the electrolyte. The electrons and ions reunite at the cathode. It takes energy to charge up a battery, and we get energy out when it discharges, because the ions and electrons are more chemically stable at the cathode. In a lithium-ion battery, the kind I'm most familiar with, the anode is unusually graphite. The cathode is a lithium metal oxide. In the charged up state, the lithium atoms are stored in the layers of graphite. They aren't very happy about that, and would prefer to go home to the lithium metal oxide at the cathode. When the anode and cathode are connected through an external circuit, lithium atoms are ionized. The electrons go through the circuit, and the lithium ions diffuse through the electrolyte, and they are reunited at the cathode. When you just connect two batteries together, positive to negative, nothing happens because the anode and the cathode are charge neutral. For electrons to be exchanged, there would have to be a channel for ions to be exchanged, too, and there's not. They aren't very happy about that, and would prefer to go home same TBH.